निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः नियतितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः हेतुधर्म्यामृतमिदम् यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः. सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. In the 7th chapter, after giving those 4 classes of bhaktas,
Krishna says there is the four classes: the Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani. These are the four classes of devotees. Of them, he says the Jnani is the highest. And for that Jnani, why he calls him highest is because there he says, for him, I am the highest. Only Jnani treats me as supreme. I am very dear to that Jnani. Right? The other half of that he is saying here in the 12th chapter. So in the 7th chapter, he says that Bhakta treats me as the dearest. Now he says, Yaha, he, who, that 7th chapter. The 7th chapter, Jnani, whom he called as a highest Bhakta. Of the Bhaktas, the best. What we learn from there is, don't get stuck with these words. See, yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna, he says. Okay, now what is it? So Krishna has told very clearly in the Gita that what you should be, yogi. Therefore, what are you supposed to do? Stand upside down. No, he only said, no, you should be a yogi. And then he says, Jnani. And what is the Jnani said? Jnani is the best Bhakta. Now, who is Bhakta, who is Jnani, you are confused. That to that Jnani, I am dearest. Therefore, in the verse 14, he says, he, my devotee, is dear to me. So he treats me as the dearest, and I treat him as the dearest. A very interesting phenomenon of affection, transaction of affection. See, in our transaction of affection, love, it is never equal, The quantum of love that I shower on you is not equal to the quantum of love that you shower on me. It's never equal. Isn't it? Always the parents say what? Every father, every mother genuinely thinks what? Their affection towards their child is more than the affection the child has towards them. Yes or no? Grandchildren, koncho jasti, little more. Because children is investment. Grandchildren is vatti, interest on that. We always prefer interest, isn't it? Than capital. See, we never have a transaction of a relationship in the world where the love that I shower is equal to others' love towards me. And always it will appear to you as either more or less. Can never be equal. That's why this statement is very interesting here. Otherwise, the statement has no relevance here. Suddenly he gives these qualities. Suddenly he makes a statement. He, that devotee, is dear to me. Now you ask this two fundamental queries about your love. One, the love that you have versus the love the others have. Every relationship that you have in life, make a note. Me, this, me, this, me, this. Everywhere you write me, me, me. Don't put dot 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 dot. Do. You know, this is what Mullah's prayer. You know Mullah? Mullah's prayer was this. Mullah's prayer is just a question of, second. Every day he will stand in front of the altar and say, do, and go. Everybody was wondering, what is the do? Say, first day, I went to prayer. They gave a list. Second day, I went to prayer. Same list. Third day, I went to prayer. Same list. I said, why waste, 20 minutes there, repeating the same thing? All that I have to say is what? Do. You put the dash, no? That's all it is. Repeat. Don't do that, please. Right? Every time, put me. Other person. Whoever the other person is. Write down. And then see the quantum of affection you have towards them, the quantum of affection according to you they have towards you. And if you can find 2 or 3 people who have more affection towards you than your affection towards them, you are very lucky. 2 or 3. 4, 5 are no chance. Impossible. As an interview, you will say that, obviously. In an interview, always you will say that. If someone asks me, who is lucky, you or your wife? Always my answer has to be what? To be politically correct, what I have to say? I am the luckiest one. You better say that. But internally, I believe what? Every husband believes it. Interestingly, every wife also believes the same. Every wife says, you will never get a better wife than me. First of all, you getting married itself is a big thing. I'm not giving my case, sir. Okay. Don't think this guy is polemifying. Polambal, how you translate? Lamenting. Lamenting doesn't give that punch. Polambal. Whatever we can't say in the house, we say here. One. Another question you have to ask is, the belovedness of the other person, is it dependent on the attributes of the other or your attitude? This is a big question he poses here. In the narration of qualities, he's narrating qualities of a bhakta. This is his quality, this is his quality, this is quality. One by one, he's going on explaining. Suddenly, in between, he slips one statement. He says, that bhakta is dear to me. And he'll go on repeating this. That bhakta is dear to me. So, it appears as though what? It is the attributes of the other determines their belovedness or not. It's a very interesting question to probe. I'm just giving this idea for you to reflect. When you say, you got to reflect. You study. Now, how you study? This is how you study. You read a statement, you say, yeah, my devotee is dear. Obviously, Krishna loves you. That is not the context here, please. That's not the way that, at least in this setup, we study. We take this as a statement of a Jagat Guru. So in the invocatory prayer, we say Krishnam Mande Jagat Guru. The first one to get the title of Jagat Guru. Krishna. First one he got. Krishnam Mande Jagat Guru says. So a Jagat Guru's statement cannot be just a statement to pacify, just to make talk. It's not that, please. Because Krishna is building up. He's building up to the next level. He's going to switch from one level to the next level. He's going to escalate. And you will see that. From 13 onwards, you will see the waves. 13, whoosh, he'll go up. 14, he'll come down. 15, again he will go up. 16, suddenly he'll come down. 17, again he goes up. Arjuna cannot take it. He says, correct, I'll fight. 18, he summarizes and finishes. That's all. So he's galloping that, remember. Krishna is galloping those ideas here. So he says, my devotee is dear to me. Who? The one who is ever perfectly content. Santushta Satatam. The tushti we experience. The contentment, the jubilee that we experience, the satisfaction that we experience is not wholesome, nor is it always. As you are experiencing the contentment, there is a check mark. It is never complete. There's always a sense of incompleteness in your completeness. All fine, but everything is fine. How are you? Yeah, fine. Don't stand next. Your weddings and parties and all, when you go, people ask, how are you feeling? This is my thing. I don't think I'll meet you tomorrow. I just came here because this is going to be my last day. You will see that fellow pulls his chair and sit next to you. What happened? Suppose if you say, I'm happy, feeling so joyful, at top of the world, he'll quietly move away. He will not relate to you. If nobody talks to you, this is the way to pull them up. You feel like suicide. Feel like committing suicide. Not worth living. Contentment. Even as you are having that contentment, there is a punctuation you have. That is what santushta. See, samyak tushta. That is, it is complete. The contentment that is experiencing is complete. And it is not occasional, it is satatam. Ever. Always. Always contented. That is the quality. He is a yogi. Yogi means the one who is striving in the path of yoga. He is striving. He struggles. He is working so hard in the path. It's not casual. That's what Swamiji says. Bhakti, this is there are two statements which hit me so hard. One is this: devotion is not a part-time, pastime hobby. I couldn't move next to the next statement. I got stuck in the first statement only. It is not a part-time, pastime hobby. Then that I have not understood. Only he says that. I don't know. You have to go and ask him. Right? The full-time awareness of truth. I don't know what does it mean. But first off, I know. What is it, sir? It's not a part-time, pastime hobby. What is devotion for us today? It's one statement. It's like hobby. It's not a hobby. Then I looked around, and what I was doing right through my life was just a part-time. And it's a pastime. Every day evening we go to temple. What is it? It's a good pastime. Morning you go to that temple, evening you go to this temple. That's all it is. Religiously, never missed. Morning, morning routine. Finish, go to temple, come back, have breakfast, go to school. Evening, come back from school, play, go to temple. Before evening, you come back and do your evening rites, dinner, sleep. That's all. Routine. What is this? Part-time. In between, what are you doing? He says, Bhakti is a full-time awareness of truth. The yogi is one who is striving to achieve that full-time awareness. Not an easy task. Of course, it is a tough one. It is a difficult one. Nowhere it is said it is easy. It is tough. It is difficult. To strive to that difficulty is where the Bhakta stands. Wanting to unite with God. He is no more interested in just having the darshan of the God and coming back. See, he's not interested to go to temple to see God and come back. That's what our master said. You can go inside the temple with any mood. The quality check is not how you are entering. The quality check is how you exit. That's why you find a lot of people, when they come back, they used to give donation. They give to the beggars, do charity. Well, going they will not do. When you enter the temple, you do. When you exit, they do. Why? The charitable attitude should have come in you when you go and see. That sharing. So it's not the question of how you enter, it's a question of how you exit. How you exit is dependent on what you did inside the temple. You go there and look at that and ask what? The granite or marble? That's all the question is. That Birla Mandir. First time I visited that Birla Mandir in Hyderabad. That was my first ever trip outside Tamil Nadu. Central Station. Chennai Central Station we have never seen. Because my sister got married and settled in Hyderabad, we saw Central Station. Otherwise, Central Station is not You've not seen. Central Railway Station. You go there. Take the train and go to Hyderabad. We are going to Hyderabad. We went there. They had that one-day trip. We went to this Birla temple, Birla Mandir. I really didn't understand because Birla means, I know Birla is Tata Birla. I said, why we are going to, I thought, no, like Kushbu, we had temple, in Tamil Nadu. One fellow built a temple for Kushbu. After that, everybody started doing copycats. The first deity, Kushbu is a deity there. So they do puja to Kushbu there. Like that, I thought, they built a temple for this man. After going there, only I realized it's not him. I said, my God. Then why they are calling it as Birla temple? No, because Birla built it. And when I go there, a fellow who is explaining that no discussions about what deity is, what that God, we wherever we go, we do that, Sthala Purana. Explain the greatness of that place. Nothing. Everything marble in the temple. I said, who cares? Whether it is granite, marble, whether it is a soft granite or hard granite. Allah, silk. It's a thing called silk granite. Study there. Your focus is where? Or maximum you go there and see what? What are beautiful sculptures. Look at the beauty. Look at the architectural beauty there. You can put a needle through this and take it out. Can you believe? In a stone, you can put a needle this side and it can pull it out that side. It's a crack might have happened. Who knows? I don't know who found out that. One fellow did it. See how they would have done a drilling. You need a driller, no? Huh? To put a nail on the wall, you need a driller. Otherwise, you can't do. What equipment those guys had, how they made, amazing, sir. YouTube view is 1.5 million views. Shiva Linga is not a problem there. The whole is a problem. The whole inspires you more than the deity there. It's amazing to see how perverted, how poor, how naive we are. The Bhakta is a yogi, says. The one who is striving in the path. Yoga means to unite. Unite with God, not have the darshan of God and come back. Unite with Him. That's the beauty here, the yogi. The next quality is self-controlled. Yatatmama. Yatatma means the one who has the self-control. The moment you think of self-control, straight your mind should go to Ashtanga Yoga. Remember, Patanjali's yoga system. Yama, Niyama. Your senses are controlled. Then asana, prana is controlled. Pranayama. Your body is controlled. How do you know that? Sit for 10 minutes without any movement. Try that. That's the first training we give in the yoga training. When B.K. Sayangar went to his guru, Krishnamacharya, he made him stand for 3 months. Every day, what he is supposed to do is go to his house. He will say, stand. We'll go. 3 hours standing. Nothing. Stand. He didn't even understand what he thought, he didn't like him. Genuinely, he thought. Many times he got frustrated. He says, I thought of, chucking this fellow out. He says, you useless teacher. He says, B.K. Sagar says, it took him 3 months for him to understand that I don't know how to stand. Right now, all of you sitting, right? 1 second focus on how you are sitting. You will always find one side is extra. You will never sit balanced. Impossible. You may say, sir, I see something wrong with the chair. What about those who are sitting down? Same. Learning is what? Learn to sit properly. Asana. Asana is not, bending your body this way, that way, twisting it like, Now, today it has become an exercise. It's not an exercise piece. It is to teach you to sit without any movement in any position. There are 2-3 positions they gave. If you are standing Tatasana, almost impossible asana to do, he says. Because you cannot stand in that position. You don't need to do any stretch, nothing. Try. These things, you should try this. Only then you will understand. Otherwise, you will not follow what I'm saying. 10 minutes, right? Fix a clock, stand. And you will feel, then sit. 10 minutes. Nothing. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not asking you to meditate and all that, okay? Learn to sit first. This is the effort. This is the control. So when he says self-control, first, this is the basic things you have to do first. This yama niyama, the indriyas, the organs. Then you come to the body, the frame, and then to the one which energizes you, prana. That's pranayama. Means control, breathing. Control your breathing. Is all. After doing all this, you come to dharana, dhyana. Now, that's what he is giving here. Says self-control. What do you have to do? Today, if you try to control your senses, first thing you will experience. The moment you attempt to control, so long as you are not attempting, there is no problem. Your life will look fantastic. Maja life, sir. No issues. You try to say no to one sense, you will know that. Chandramukhi தான் சொல்லி பார். You seen that movie? Chandramukhi. Jailer பாத்தியா? Today you are going. You are saved. சொல்லி பார். Try, say no to one sense. See what happens. That frustration sets in, remember. You cannot escape from that frustration. When you control the senses, first thing you'll experience is frustration. And frustration is so disturbing to you, you cannot withhold that. Therefore, what do we do? Yield. This thing, you try to say no to the child, and see what happens. So we compare. Easy. No. Say no to child. What happens? You are finished. Same thing internally. The moment you try to control, that's why it is so difficult for us to say no, to senses. Very difficult to say no. But he is able to say that. Why there is that? What is giving that? From what is the source of it? That agitation. What is the source of that agitation? Frustration. What is the source of it? From where that thing comes? Incompleteness is always there. In the mind, what? Mind is everything put together. It's like saying within. Within where? This is the difference between generalization and learning things specifically. See, the frustration that you are experiencing is nothing but the split in you. Because one part of you says it is such a valuable thing. It is such a pleasurable thing. Other part of you says no. So the source of that frustration, that agitation, that disturbance is one part is saying yes, one part is saying no. If your whole thing were to say yes, there is no problem. If the whole thing were to say no, no problem. That there is a split in you. One part of you says, sir, money is nothing, sir. But other part of you also says what? How can you live without money? So either you say wealth no meaning, or you say wealth means life. Either one stand you have to take. The problem is, one part of you says it is such an important thing. It is such a valuable thing. It is such a pleasant thing. It is such a joyful one. Movie. It's a joyful one. Entertainment. What have you done in your life for you to get entertained? Who needs relaxation? Huh? The one who has really worked so hard needs relaxation. Will he go in search of relaxation, or he will slip into relaxation? He'll slip into relaxation automatically if he has really worked hard, isn't it? No matter where you are, you will fall out to sleep, isn't it? Okay, that's a relaxing thing. Now this fellow says, I'm watching TV. Why are you watching TV, sir? I want to relax. Why do you want to relax? So tired. What have you done to get tired? You drove from home to class. Class is very interesting, sir. Why? Very relaxing. Yata, yogi, the one who is striving. We are saying we are striving in the path. He says very relaxing. How can it be? It is effort. Says. What is the effort? Self-control. The first effort is the self-control that you do. Now, always remember, in the first stage, if you are attempting to practice self-control, you have to deny. You see, this is the tragedy, this is the problem. Don't take a stand of a self-control that you want to do. That is why today, all of us want to give an example for renunciation. Who's the example given everywhere? Picture of renunciation. Janaka. You are interested in Janaka's state of renunciation. You are not interested in Sudama's state of renunciation. Why? You are not interested in renunciation. You are interested in becoming a king. And you genuinely think what? If I also become like Janaka, then I will practice renunciation. Settling down, sir, first. Settle down. And then I'll attend all your class. Thank God you're not settling down in your life. Why? It's inspiring, no? When you hear the story of Janaka's renunciation, it is inspiring. Sudama renunciation? Yeah, poverty, sir. Poverty will not inspire you. Richness alone inspires you. It's fascinating to see. Why? Because you have a weakness. What is a weakness? You already having a value for the world. And if you have to practice control, first step has to be what? Withdrawal, denial. Withdrawal means what? Denying. No? What's the meaning of withdrawal? Denying. I am not going to eat chocolate. Deny. Deny chocolate. That is withdrawal. Now, when you have this withdrawal, you will experience a withdrawal syndrome. That frustration will be there. You have to pass through that frustration. To compensate that frustration alone, we have to do one more parallelly. Since most do not do what is supposed to be done along with that, do only one half. It is said renunciation, self-control is not self-denial. You have to, the sentence is not complete. Self-control is not self-denial. Don't put a full stop. You have to add one more word. Self-control is not self-denial, within brackets, alone. So what is it, sir? Self-control is not self-denial alone. Means, along with self-denial, there has to be one more thing added. If that addition is not done, if you stick to only self-denial, frustration, split frustration, you can't escape. Without self-denial, if you do the second part alone, third chapter, he calls them as Mithyachara. Mithyachara means hypocrites. Okay. I'm keeping this as a secret. Second. One, self-control. Self-control equals self-denial plus X. Okay. Without that X, if you keep only self-control, frustration. Okay. Then self-control equals self-denial equals frustration. Another problem is self-control equals X without self-denial. Where are you? Mithyachar, hypocrite. So self-control is what? Self-denial plus X. என்ன அது X? அதுதான் knowledge. If you are not supplementing sufficient knowledge along with denial, you cannot escape frustration. Remember this. Most of those people in the recent past did not supplement the knowledge. They took the part of withdrawal, denial. Since that supplement did not happen, most of them started living a life of frustration. And when you look at it from externally, from a third person point of view, when you see all those people are living a life of frustration. Frustrated fellows. And you ask yourself, do you want to go through that frustration? I don't want to live a frustrated life. Therefore, I'm not going to practice. Don't jump. I am not going to deny anything. Denying is wrong. Self-control is wrong. No control, nothing. Live. Only question you have to ask yourself is what? Can you afford it? That's all. Jailer movie. எங்க போய் பார்க்குறேன்? Have you booked your ticket? Not yet. Where you will go and watch? Navaran Theatre also is there. PVR Gold Seat also there. Where you will go and watch? You don't think anything other than can you afford or not. Wherever you can afford, have you ever withdrawn? That is a quick question. I can afford it, sir. If you can afford, you indulge. You contact, indulge. Where you cannot afford, you cannot contact. That's all it is. So, where are you going to practice self-control? This is where total chaos, the spiritual concepts are in complete confusion, is because no clarity on the fundamentals. Self-control means what? You have to withdraw, you have to deny. What you deny, what you can afford, you deny. Because what you cannot afford, there's nothing to deny. It's like saying, I have a tremendous self-control over, helicopters. Original, toy. Tremendous control over helicopters. Can you afford? Even in your dreams, you can't afford to own a helicopter. And then you claim that I have self-control over helicopters. Where you practice self-control, where you deny what is affordable, accessible, effortlessly to you. Effortlessly, it should be affordable by you. Effortlessly, it should be available to you. Deny that. That split it will create. Frustration will set in. Immediately supplement that denial with knowledge. If you are intellectual. That is why I said X. It's not for secrecy, please. It depends. If you are an intellectual type of a person, then you have to supplement that with knowledge. scriptural knowledge. If you are a devotional type of a person, you got to supplement it with the relationship with the higher. You see, if you are an emotional type of a person, relate with the higher, contact the higher, which is what we call as satsang. Satsang is you consciously establish a relationship with the higher. That's satsang. The satsang is not like-minded. Like-minded, then even your Rotary Club will become satsang. Like-minded people, sir. That is not what we are referring to. Kitty party is also satsang. No. Satsang is an effort, remember. It's not an easy thing. That's why in Bhajagovindam he says, Satsangatve nirsangatvam. Nirsangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve jivan mukti. So all that you have to do is what? Get into satsang. That's it. Enough. Everything will happen automatic. After that, it's all autopilot. It's like, when I heard that, I got a heart attack actually. Flights, once it goes and hits the altitude, they put on autopilot mode. Right now, the pilot's job is only takeoff and landing. Flying, they can sleep. They'll fly. No issues. They have a secret compartment to sleep. Bed alarm, right? They'll go to sleep. And imagine auto driver is sleeping now. Taxi driver sleeps. What will happen to you? They say what? Nothing happens there. Autopilot. Same way, Shankara's guarantee is this. Takeoff only you need. Landing also he says autopilot mode. Straight it will land you in Jivan Mukti. But what you need to do, sir? Maintain satsang. So self-withdrawal or denial plus self-knowledge or satsang. So what is self-control? Self-control formula. Self-control is equal to self-denial plus self-knowledge / satsang. Okay. Hold on to that. Next quality he gives is this. I'm just jumping one. Okay. With mind and intellect dedicated to me. Mai to me. Arpita mano buddhi. Manas and buddhi. Mind and intellect were dedicated to me. So, along with the practice of yatatma, self-control, Krishna's recommendation is, it is better to change the formula as what? Self-denial plus satsang. Instead of / it's better to put plus self-knowledge. Another next quality. With mind and intellect dedicated to me. This mind and intellect is there. The function of the intellect is to discriminate. I keep repeating this every time I use this word. We are in philosophy class, not politics. When we say discrimination, all that we mean is you need to know the difference between the door and the wall. If you don't discriminate, door is different, wall is different. What will happen? You will attempt to walk through the wall. Either wall will break or you will break. You cannot do that. So discrimination per se has no problem, remember. So intellect is that which is cutting through your ignorance, cutting through your ego, cutting through your desires, cutting through your selfishness. When it is cutting through that, you need to add an oil of devotion. It's like a steel cut. When you're cutting, the friction will create heat. If you keep only knowledge without devotion, your growth will not be perfect. You will have an imperfect growth. If you have devotion without knowledge, again imperfect growth. So it has to be that combination of mind and intellect, both dedicated to me, means dedicated into the pursuit of me. That's why earlier he said yogi, the one who is in the path, the one who is striving in the path to realization. So self-control and this idea of arpita mano buddhi, mind and intellect dedicated to me. To practice all this, what is needed? Dhrida nischaya. Nischaya means conclusion. Dhrida nischaya means conclusively concluded. We have also concluded. But is it a conclusive conclusion? That conclusive conclusion is called conviction. So Dhrida nischaya is a conviction on life. Conviction that the purpose is to have it. How do you get it, sir? Through these two processes. The process of Shravana followed by Manana and Nididhyasana. Shravana means listening. Listen to the scriptures for a long period of time. Right? First listen. The traditional people say, don't even go for reflection. Listen. Because as you are listening, most of your unnecessary doubts, everything will get settled by itself. Like many times we see this, people come back after the class and say, sir, how do you know? This is the exact doubt I had today morning. Yesterday I was studying about this, sir. I wanted to ask you. I thought of asking you after the class. How you got to know that? There's no superpower law. Nothing of that sort, please. Nobody asks them things like that. It is what then? It is just the process of teaching. The subject itself is like that. The way the subject is elaborated, expounded, is having an inbuilt reflection. To that only we are grateful to the Guru. Why we are so grateful to the Guru is we are borrowing his intellect, as it were. He is lending his thinking to you. See, nobody will give that. He just gives it. See, why? Because there is no specific preparation as such. It's not a discourse. Remember, there's a difference between a discourse. Today we are interested in discourses. We are not interested in class, teaching, learning. Discourse we are interested. What is the difference? Same person speaking, right? What is the difference between a discourse and a class? In discourse, there is no derivation. If I have to discourse on self control, I will not derive self denial, X factor, what happens, this, nothing. Straight away, we go to making statement. We just make statements, make statements, make statements, make statements, and keep moving. I have to do is what? Give one example, give one, one quotation, give one idea, move to next idea. One example, one quotation, one story, one joke, next idea. One quotation, one example, one story, one joke, next idea. You can attend any lecture in YouTube, you'll find the same formula. No difference. And that's very entertaining. And human beings have reduced to such an extent where you pay money and go and sit and listen to the stand-up comedy. What is he doing? Huh? Cracking jokes after jokes after jokes after jokes. I'm not saying you should not listen to jokes, please, okay? Why do you have to pay money and go and sit and listen? And it's a in thing today. Stand-up comedy show. And all youngsters go for it. All of youngsters go. Why? No laughter. Have you, in the entire apartment, only in my house, laughter comes. Giggling. Neighbors sometimes, they keep looking at us up and down. Even in the lift, when we go up and down, we laugh. They say something and we laugh. They look at us. It's entertaining for me, at least. Yesterday, I went in the lift. The Anete Patra jailer. The lift, 25 fellows were there inside. So one child came. I said, "Is it your child?" Yes. So, be careful, this fellow. He will have two girls in his life. And his father, looked at me like this. His grandfather looked at me like that. So because he has two suris in his head. You know that, no? Retta surina, rendu wife. I have only one. And that man came and wished me 4 times in the cinema theater. 4 times going up and down. Waiting there. What to do? No place. Everybody is full. 10 minutes. 4 times the guy came up and down and wished me and went away. Where are you from? Yes. And everybody else were looking at us like, can't have a conversation. Some casual, there is nothing great about it. Smile, not least. If you cannot laugh, please smile, right? It's forgotten now. That's why you got to pay money and tell someone, please trigger me to laugh. I'm willing to pay any amount for that. Companies hire people now. They are hired by the companies to conduct sessions for them. Such a deterioration. Human beings. And we say we are evolving. Evolving, I don't know. Pathetic state. Have that capacity to relate, a firm conviction. What are you convinced about in life? Are you convinced that wealth alone matters? No. Are you convinced that God matters? No. Your life is just running up and down. World appears attractive, run towards the world. It gives you knocks and shocks, run opposite direction towards God. God is not responding to you. What do you do? Run towards world. But to be practical, you're convinced. He says, have that dridha nishchaya. He says, have that firm conviction. Conviction in what? You should have that conviction. Conviction towards. You should be convinced in what? You should have a conviction on three things, remember. You should be convinced about your goal. You should be convinced about the means. And you should be convinced that it is achievable by you. Adan dridha nishchaya. In this Janma, I don't think so realization possible. One lady came. Next Janma also you should be my teacher. I said, Adi Pavi. At least wish for me. If you can't achieve, at least, sir, you realize. At least you should wish me, no? Huh? Yes, no. The lady took, my horoscope. She asked my horoscope. I didn't know for what you. I was not married at that time. So I had my ideas. So I shared. I thought, she will do some good to me. She comes back and says, this, I checked my horoscope and your horoscope. I said, what? Thank God she didn't give much pass. He says, lady, I stopped the class there. After that, I didn't go to that house for the class. He was a host, so we have to go early and I have to wait. Hall like this means, I say, get lost, you people, I'll walk out. There's no problem. If I come to a house, what to do? I can't just finish the class and say bye and walk out. You have to stay there and, talk 2-3 minutes at least. Just to keep that going. This lady says, I checked. Next Janma also, you will be my teacher. Dridha nishchaya. She was so convinced. Dridha nishchaya means to have the conviction, the higher ideal. Are you convinced about the ideal? The purpose, number one. Number two, are you convinced about the means, the path? Do you have a conviction on the path? No. Yeah, it's okay, but I do that also. One fellow asked me about, what do you think of this astrology? I said, if I believe in astrology, I'll be teaching astrology class. Why will I teach Bhagavad Gita class? Huh? If I believe in Vastu, I should be teaching you people what? Vastu Shastra, no. Why will I teach Bhagavad Gita? And the fellow comes and asks me, what do you think of Vastu? I say, I have no opinion of Vastu. Right or wrong, I have no clue. Now, you listen to this, you go there and listen to that also. You listen here and say, your life is made up by your Shraddha. Yoga Vasishta, categorically he says, it's Purushartha that defines life, man. That's it. There is no such thing called fate. Because Rama was a firm believer on fate. He believed before. After the Gurukula, he went for 1 year tour. He came back fully depressed. That is the time Vishwamitra entered. When Rama was in the depressed state, is a time where Vishwamitra comes. And Rama was called. And the way Rama walks and comes into the palace, and he asks, is there, beautiful question he poses, is there anyone in this congregation who can say that they have achieved? Everybody was silent. Vishwamitra is the one who spoke. He's the one who broke the silence. Yes, Rama, there are two people. One is me. Second is Vasishtha. Beautifully he gives a reply. There also he says what? There are two. He doesn't say Vasishtha and me. First me. Then he says Vasishtha also. And he says, as a tradition goes, Rama, you got to learn from your Kulaguru. Learn from him. And that's where Vasishtha, he requests Vasishtha. Vishwamitra requests Vasishtha to teach Rama. On the request of Vishwamitra, Vasishtha teaches Rama. That is Yoga Vasishtha. There he says categorically, it's Purushartha, effort. You listen to that lecture and say, yeah, correct, sir, effort. But you will check your horoscope. Today, weekend, no? Every weekend that Times of India, they publish. This week. Or this what. And I have the cuttings of all that. I keep checking that. It's just a permutation combination. What was given for this, in that month will be there for October. What is there? Just, ChatGPT is there. No? All that you have to do is feed in and replay it and put it back. That's all it is. Same thing. Be careful. All Sagittarius people, be careful today. Other people don't have to be careful. Is it? While driving, be careful. Other fellows, because of their carelessness, you meet with accident. Are you convinced about what? Are you convinced about the goal that you have? First of all, you should have a goal. Okay? Assumption is that you should have a goal and you should have a defined means to achieve that goal. Are you convinced about the means to achieve that, the path? Are you convinced that you will achieve it? Okay, that is the question here. It says, the one who has that conviction, Dridhanishchaya, means the one who has a firm conviction on these three ideas: the goal, the path, and the possibility. Dridhanishchaya. Santushtas Satatam Yogi. We chanted once, no? Beautiful verse. Verse 14.
Santushtas
Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dridhanishchayaha Mayyarpitamano Buddhihi
Same Priyaha.
We'll see next week.